Okay, hello everyone. Today I'm here to tell you about what was honestly probably the most exciting 3 days of my life. This time I was part of the program that I mentioned in my previous speech called Next Gen Academy. The project that we were doing at this point in the program was called Own Your Own Town. The point of this program is you get dropped off in a random town. For me it was Sonora, California, and you spend 3 days there with no money, and you find a way to provide for yourself, and you stay busy by finding various ways to serve other people. And this can be anything from working in a soup kitchen to helping a stranger rearrange his garage or helping them move things in their house. And so when you approach people with a hard attitude of service, they tend to want to return the favor. So things like shelter, food, anything like that, they tend to work themselves out. It's not really something you usually have to worry about. But to assure our safety, we were assigned 2 staff members that we would check in with twice a day, and they would check out the people who we would be staying with to make sure everything was kosher and safe, and make sure everything's going okay. But yeah, anyway, so the first day started off a little slow. I was trying to find ways to keep busy, just, literally walking up and down the sidewalk, on the strip, talking to strangers. And so I was doing, the first day I stopped at a local women's shelter, helped a few people with some miscellaneous things like raking their leaves, but I wasn't really finding anything that I found satisfactory for what I wanted to do. So it was a little frustrating. I was walking to Sonora, which is pretty small, mostly just some cute little shops and bars. And I began talking to this really nice guy who was really actually very interested in what we were doing, and he really liked the concept of this Own Your Own Town project. And he wanted to help us out, or he wanted to help me out, but he was a fireman who lived on a base, so obviously I couldn't stay at the base. So he tells me, oh, you know what, I have a military-grade cot and a really heavy sleeping bag, and I can take you to a campsite nearby. You can borrow my equipment, and I'll take you back into town the next morning. So I thought, that sounds nice. So he drove me to the campsite, which little did I know was actually on base, and I was not supposed to be there. I was being snuck in, which just adds to the adventure. And so I spent a nice night out under the stars, and very beautiful, although a bit eerie being in a giant campsite alone in the dark. But it was very, very beautiful and peaceful. So the next morning, I woke up to the moist feeling of morning dew all over my sleeping bag, and I started the new day. And the same guy who took me there picked me up, took me back into town, and I started the second day. So the second day, I kind of just did more of the usual, wandering around, seeing what I could find. And first thing that I did, I came across what's called the Red Church, which is, I believe it's a Christian church, and I helped prepare meals in the kitchen, set up the tables in the eating area, and did dishes, kind of things you would expect. That was good. I met some very friendly, very interested in what we were doing. They're very interesting people. Friend, this very interesting homeless man who actually wasn't much older, and it was how I never really realized how much easier it is to understand someone, how much harder it is to judge them when you actually sit down and stone them. And it's very transformative. And so I had a very good conversation with him. Once I
good morning. Thanks. You'll need to have that.
I was on my way.
I said thank you, goodbye. Boarding pass. On this boarding pass, all boarding passes must have a red stamp on them. That means you have checked in with the Cuba Red Big Desk and purchased the required visa that's necessary for travel to Cuba.
A little bit worried.
If you have a boarding card that does not have that red stamp on,
it was around 10 p.m., which
step over
is
to
usually
the
the time
see the ladies at the Cuba desk. This is located just to the left.
Try and find a place to stay, and you get picked up by the staff. So I was a little bit disappointed in myself because I couldn't find a place to stay. But I called the staff. I was waiting to get picked up, waiting outside a Subway restaurant, and this car pulls up, and he starts asking me questions. My first thought was, maybe he thinks I'm a drug dealer. You know, I'm sitting on the corner with my hood up, looking at the ground. But you Next Gen Academy, and this was very strange to me because most people aren't very familiar with the organization. But it turns out he was actually the son of a program coordinator, and which was just a very strange coincidence, especially considering I didn't know town. So I was really excited. I found a place to stay for the night, and it was a great way to end the day. So on the third and final day,
boarding to the first class cabin, boarding first class and only, boarding D9 for Fort Myers.
Third and final day, I had probably the most interesting encounter of all. I was coming from an AA center where I volunteered to help clean around the building, you know, sweeping, mopping, all that kinds of stuff. And I was walking from there, and I decided to journal because a lot of interesting things have happened. I had a lot of great encounters, and I couldn't find anywhere to sit, so I just sat right in the corner of where someone's yard meets the road, in the gravel, and I sat down and I was journaling. And this man comes out of his house because he sees me hunched over and he doesn't know what I'm doing, and he's worried I might be injured. So he comes out and asks me if I'm okay. You know, nothing out of the ordinary. And then as he's walking away, he turns around and asks me what would be the beginning of the strangest experience I've ever had, but also the most hilarious. He turns around and says, "You want to see my donkeys?" And immediately I'm like, this is the middle of a residential neighborhood, not out in the country on a farm, so I'm like, but I see a street sign that seems to be depicting a donkey, so I'm like, okay. So he walks me to the backyard, and sure enough, this guy has in the middle of a residential neighborhood, this guy has a pen with 2 of his pet donkeys. And as he's telling me about how peaceful these animals are, how calming they are, how he just can't be angry around them, he opens the door, and one of them bolts out. So now, I actually forgot to mention, this man's name was Jim. So now me and Jim are on a quest to find his rogue donkey in the middle of a residential neighborhood. So off we go. It didn't take long because donkeys aren't very hard to find when you're walking in the middle of a residential neighborhood. You hear the distant hee-haw, and we know which direction to go. And eventually, sure enough, the neighbors know the drill too. So the neighbors got him, and we reclaimed the road donkey. And Jim tells me a little bit about himself. He tells me he's a veteran. He gives me some life advice. Talks to me about how important what we're doing is, about karma, and he even offers to buy me a beer when I turn 21. So. It was quite a way to end those fascinating, adventurous 3 days. And one thing I could say is I will never forget the generosity and the kindness that I was shown to strangers. And I'm honestly, I could say that I'm truly moved by the people who are, despite not knowing me beyond one brief encounter, willing to open up their house to me and let me stay with them. Meals for me. The experience really dulled my general sense of cynicism towards people, and it's